out their frustrations on the defending MISL champions. In the game tonight, Gordon Smith decks Stan Stamenkovic there. Stan gets up after Gordon kicks him. Now watch this in slow motion. That's called a headbutt. Stan hits the deck. As it turns out, he has a broken nose. He obviously wasn't too happy about it, tried to get back in. Oh yeah, the bench is cleared, more pushing and shoving than anything else. Not really soccer. When order was eventually restored, the Spirit couldn't fight their way to victory. Baltimore wins it 4-2.
Stan Stamenkovic of the Baltimore Blast last night. The Spirit lost the game 4-2. Of course, they will not make the playoffs. An enraged Stamenkovic tried to get to Gordon Smith, who suffered a 2-game suspension and a $500 fine. So that's it. We'll, of course, at 11 tonight have highlights on everything that happens down here at Three River Stadium.
11 is Gordon Smith. Now, he lays a headbutt on him right there that would make any brawler proud. That eventually emptied the benches. It cost him a 2-game suspension and a $500 fine. The Spirit probably won the fight, but they still lost the game. When the dispute was all over, it was Baltimore winning 4-2. A dispute in
the city may lose the franchise. So tonight, the entire Spirit organization was out trying to sell tickets.
Am I afraid? Yes, I'm really afraid.
Everybody in the Spirit organization is a little worried these days. They have to sell 10,000 season tickets by July 15th, and so far,
at the moment, I'd say that we're maybe close to 2.5, 3.
So tonight, the Spirit sponsored a soccer fest at South Park, a chance for fans to see a free exhibition game between the Spirit and Cleveland, and of course, an opportunity to buy some tickets.
You know, if they to get anything is what we're really after, just to get a kind of commitment. But they're buying books, so it's going well. It's going very well.
But it's still not going quite well enough. There are still many seats to be sold, and nobody thinks Mr. DeBartolo was kidding when he issued his ultimatum.
We take it very seriously. I mean, Mr. DeBartolo is very serious. We've got to get very close to 10,000 season tickets.
Do you like soccer?
Yeah.
Why?
I play it.
If the Spirit were to leave Pittsburgh, there'd be a big void in a lot of these people's lives, and mine included, my kids included.
To do, I'd sit at home.
Well, while all those people were watching the Spirit,
fans showed up at South Park for Soccer Fest 85 this evening. The main attraction, an outdoor game between two major indoor soccer league rivals, the Spirit in black and the Cleveland Force in blue. And that's former Spirit Drago Dumbovic on a 1-game loan from the Strikers. Scored a goal, delighting those who had braved the questionable weather. And then he sets up Franz Zock. 5-0, the Spirit beat the Force. And oh yeah, Stan Terlecki scored the other 3 Spirit goals in that 5-0 win. From soccer favorites, we go.
Pittsburgh Spirit Soccer is brought to you by Stroh's, America's Fire Brewed Beer. By Thrift Drug, where you get our extra service. By Burger King, home of the bigger and better Whopper. Aren't you hungry for Burger King now? For you, Coke.
From the Met Center in Bloomington, Minnesota, it's MISL Soccer as the Pittsburgh Spirit, in a battle for first place, take on the Minnesota Strikers. A very pleasant good evening, everyone. Welcome to a very chilly Minnesota. I'm John Sanders with John. Game early in the season, John Paul.
Well, John, it's for first place, and you've got 2 of the better teams right now in the MISL playing for it. Both teams solid in goal and have some players up front that can do some damage. A lot of similarities between the 2 clubs.
If you look at the standings, Minnesota coming in with a record of 8-3. They've won 3 of their last 4. The Pittsburgh Spirit on a 4-game winning streak, the best they've had in a couple of years. They are 6-3, and percentage-wise, a victory would put them into first place. But let's talk about what happens home and road. Minnesota's 5-0 here in this building, the Met Center, and the Spirit are 0-3 3 this year, and both have some home and road streaks going right now.
Well, Pittsburgh is on the downside of the losing side as far as the road goes. They've lost 3 straight this year. They have a longer road scheme that goes all the way back to last year. Minnesota has won 16 straight. That's a little scary going into this game tonight at home. So they like to play at home. We'll see what they do tonight. We know that they're expected to start Tino Lettieri in goal, but he has a sprained thumb, and he was questionable before the game. Whether that is a bother to him tonight or not, we'll find out.
And David Bursic, who is the 3rd leading goalkeeper in the MISL, will start tonight for the Pittsburgh Spirit. It is a showdown for first place in the Eastern Division of the MISL as the Pittsburgh Spirit take on the Strikers here in Minnesota on Pittsburgh Spirit Soccer. Even cooler tomorrow. We're going to try to warm it up inside tonight as the Spirit take on the Minnesota Strikers. Our officials are getting set, and we're going to try to set the table for some people tonight in our goal-getter contest, John Paul.
That's right, John. The all-new Giant Eagle goal-getter contest right here on Spirit Television. Entry blanks and details are available at all new Giant Eagle stores. You can win up to $400 in Giant Eagle groceries. $100 is at stake in groceries in the first quarter, and our contestant will be Gertrude Tripodi, and she has chosen Paul Chow, so that's worth $100. As we look at Tino Lettieri, they tell us he has a fractured thumb. He is the 5th leading goalkeeper in the MISL. There's David Bursic. He is number 3. Would also like to tell you right now that operators are standing by at 642-2067. You can save money when the Spirit meet the Minnesota Strikers on December the 20th. That's coming up at $11 seat. You get it for $9 by calling right now, 642-2067. And we're just about set for a game that right now means first place, John.
And 16 consecutive home victories for the Strikers of Minnesota. 8 losses in a row on the road for the Pittsburgh Spirit. You have to go back to the end of last season since they won on the road. Don Popovic hoping to end that string tonight and increase the team's winning streak to 5 in a row. And for the first quarter of play, here's John Paul.
Thank you, John. Paul Child up front with Godfrey Ingram and Zeke Kapka, John O'Hara, and Dave McKenzie in front of David Bursic. On the opposite side, you've got Dwight Lodevegas and Ken Fogarty. As the defenders and the forward line will have Alan Willey, Jan Goosens, and John Bain. Godfrey Ingram putting it in play, sending it back the other way. Left wing side, Zeke Kapka moving it up for Child, knocking it back to O'Hara. Johnny right at the midfield line. 4-game win streak for the Spirit, plays it right into Lettieri. Long throw up the left wing side for Alan Willey. Out to Stan Cummins.
Yeah, one of the keys to the recent Spirit success, I think, John Paul, has to be the return of Helmut Dudek, who is on right now playing with that new knee brace, and it's holding up pretty well.
Dudek, former All-Star with Memphis, played last year with the Las Vegas Americans. He has the ball there, giving it up for Klincharski. Nicky also coming over from Vegas. Charlie Green with it, now playing it back to David Bursic, as John Sanders had mentioned before. They will probably do that a lot tonight because of Minnesota's high pressure tactics. Minnesota will pick you up right at the Spirit red line and work hard all night. Here's a good ball for Green. Charlie looking, but he's broken up with the rebound coming out. Klincharski fires, punched out by Lettieri, and if he's got a bad thumb, he didn't show it right there.
The first real test for Tino Lettieri tonight.
And he's not in any real agony as I look at him the other way.
And there's David Hagen. Good to see him back.
Klincharski for Charlie Green. Right side, Adam Topolsky. Picked up by Kazbek Tambi. Now for Helmut Dudek. Right back for the feet of David Bursic.
I think with the return of David Hagen, I think he still has some things to prove. Not only in the fact that he hasn't scored yet this year, but of course he has some things to prove to his coach.
Has to mend the fence there. Charlie Falzone cutting to the left. Off the boards. Loose ball. Green is there, and he shot it upstairs. He was open, but was unable to put it home. So with the score, Pittsburgh nothing, Minnesota nothing. You're watching Pittsburgh Spirit Soccer. Shot it upstairs. Minnesota came close on a couple of occasions, but it has not been an offensive first quarter. But that's good, I think, for Pittsburgh, especially if the score stays like this. If they're going to slow it down, I would expect that it would be more of a low-scoring game than high-scoring.
And that's exactly what Coach Don Popovic would like to see.
Yeah. Right now, I don't think Pittsburgh can match Minnesota firepower, fire for fire. Ball played into the box, but it's behind Charlie Green on the play of Sibbies.
And Charlie Green that time, I think John Paul was looking for Ian to use the boards instead of bringing the pass straight across and reversing it to him. He was looking for a rebound, and it didn't come.
Lodevegas, right side. Stan Cummins for David Byrne, and Cummins is going to be open. Klincharski's going to chase him from behind. Cummins a shot, and he missed. Right side, Byrne hooks it. Off the boards, rebound is in. Jan Goosens, who had 49 last year, and they're not booing, they're saying goose. 1-0 Minnesota.
They worked it well. They kept the ball alive. And, of course, Goossens, who was the team's leading scorer a year ago, but off to a little bit of a slow start this year. Goossens picking up his 3rd goal of the season. You'll see the ball come down. Cummins keeps it in play. It crosses. But see where Goossens is? He's setting himself up. The ball is driven in from outside by David Byrne. There he is for the rebound, and it comes at 13:57. Here's another look, JP.
You're going to notice, well, not right now because he's out of focus, but Goossens got behind Dave McKenzie. They had a good battle going, and Goossens got credit for the goal as he was right there. A good battle, but the offensive player that time won it as John O'Hara picks it up. We're back to the action. 1-0. The assist going to Byrne. Goossens the goal at 13:57. Tough ones to give up, John, near the end or the beginning of a quarter, and that one came with 1:03 to Pittsburgh right there, so he keeps it close by keeping it out. Goossens setting it behind a player. Loda Vegas will get it. He uses the boards pretty well, but right now he's in traffic. Played it right out to Charlie Green perfectly. 16 seconds left. Charlie with a chance, running it upfield. He can fly. Green taking it right side. Stopping, 10 seconds are left, though. Right side, Topolsky cranks it, and it goes up too high. Adam knew how much time was left, or approximately how much time, and he just cranked it. He has been playing extremely consistent soccer, very good soccer, during the first part of this season. 9 games into it. This is the 10th game for the Pittsburgh Spirit, and they come in at 6-3. Minnesota at 8-3. 7 seconds left as Tino Lettieri will put it in play. Again, we remind you that telephone number 642-2067 for discount tickets for the December 20th game against Minnesota Strikers. Operator standing by right now as Lettieri gets set to throw. Now he'll just put it down by his feet and let the clock go. And that will do it. The horn sounds, ending this opening quarter of play from Minnesota as we look at Tino Lettieri, his team leading 1-0 over the Spirit. You're watching Pittsburgh.
Lettieri gets it to Cantor. Back to Tino, who'll pick it up. Gergarev is down doing a little forechecking, trying to keep some pressure on. Lettieri now will walk it out. We have played 2 minutes now in the second quarter. The only goal of the game by Jan Goossens. Right at the end of the first quarter of play. Loda Vegas, a Canadian. Chips it inside. Good pass and a shot and a goal. Scoring the goal is Stan Cummins. He got a great feed on a back heel pass. A gorgeous feed to Cummins. He knocked the goal in, and it was David Byrne with his 2nd assist of the night, and that's a beautiful pass.
Well, the pass, John, was better than the goal. Time of the goal is going to be at 2:12, but watch it here. Loda Vegas to Byrne. He knows where his man is. That's not an accident. He plays it perfectly to Cummins, and Stan Cummins beats the defense. Nothing David Bursich could do there. Time of the goal, 2:12. Let's see if we can see it from a different angle as Loda Vegas. Watch Byrne off the inside of the right foot, and there's Cummins splitting 2 defenders, basically. Tuksha and Kapka to make it a 2-0 Minnesota lead.
Just caught the right corner. Foul goes against own time, controlling play a little bit. Here's Byrne. John Bain goes inside, and there's the goal coming off the foot of Chris Dangerfield. So Bain fed Dangerfield, and it's 3-0 Minnesota.
John, one of the tactics in the MISL is to change the speed of the game, change the pace. You mentioned that Minnesota was slowing it down. I think they caught Pittsburgh ball watching. They lulled Pittsburgh to sleep and made the perfect pass to Dangerfield. Bain led this team in assists. Here's the reason why, or one of the reasons. Watch how he holds the ball. Then Dangerfield breaks to the outside. Bursich looked like he had the angle, but apparently did not. Time of the goal, 6:46 as we look at it once more.
And here's Bain. There's the pass. Now watch Dangerfield. He has to go down and get it. He just hooks it past, or actually between the legs of goalkeeper David Bursich. Dangerfield with his 5th goal, Bain his 5th assist.
Good communication, too. Bain knew where he wanted to play it, but he also knew that the player, Dangerfield, was breaking. And similar to football, John, when you have the quarterback and the wide receiver, the timing and knowing where a person is going to break.
Bursich certainly has been hot. He has played in most of the games so far this year. Joe Papaleo is dressed again, but he has not seen any action so far in this season. Falzone runs it into the corner where he's double-teamed, dropped, and the foul goes against Minnesota.
You know, John, it hasn't been a one-sided game. Minnesota's capitalized on 3 good chances, but it's not like they've dominated completely and taken the Spirit apart. But when they've had a chance, they've scored. Pittsburgh has not been able to do it.
7:10 to play in the first half. McKenzie chipping it to Green. Turning, and there's
There's the goal.
There it is. Hagen, Mr. Television.
He finally comes through. Hagen's first of the year. He gets it off a shot taken by Charlie Green. No chance for Lettieri, who was away from the ball when Hagen tapped it home, and the Spirit are on the board.
And that's a very big goal, simply from the confidence standpoint that I was alluding to earlier. The Spirit needed that one to get close.
So it is 3-1, and you're watching Pittsburgh Spirit of the year. He followed up the shot by Charlie Green. Somehow Charlie managed to get the ball between Tino Lettieri and the boards, and it kind of squeezed in there. Watch the play as he turns, and he gets past Lettieri. Well, it's no problem for Hagen.
No, Fogarty missed it. He had a chance to clear, but Hagen was right there on the doorstep. That's what Pittsburgh needs. They need players in the right situation. If Hagen isn't there, if he's not at the far post, they don't even have a chance at that goal, but he was. And we look again at the positioning. Watch Green battling. Fogarty misses, but Hagen is right there. His first goal of the season, and he continues to impress on the TV games.
And we go back to live action. 3 fouls now against the Spirit. 6:56 left in the first half. And it would appear that the strikers are going to let the first half run out. Tamby now with 4 seconds. Drives it into the corner, chipped in front, batted away by Bursic, and that's it.
I would like to remind everyone while we're here at halftime that we still have that television offer waiting for you if you'd like to take advantage of it. Friday, December 20th, the Spirit meet the same Minnesota Strikers team that you're watching tonight. And if you call right now, you get $2 off on an $11 seat. It's an $11 seat. You get it for $9 if you call during our broadcast tonight. So call right now, 642-2067 right now, and be there for the return appearance of
here for, well, maybe a 6-month past, nothing more. But come to find out, some 4 years later, Godfrey Ingram is making a career in America.
I really couldn't see myself staying in America when I first came to the country because, you know, I come from a big family, and I thought it was going to be really tough being away from them for any length of time. I thought America was going to be all skyscrapers and Dallas and, you know, Starsky and Hutch. And the first time I came over was to New York, and it turned out to be just that. The second time I came to San Jose expecting all these great big skyscrapers, and I found a very nice...
Soccer is not the only thing in Godfrey's life.
I like to do a lot of boating. We bought a boat around about 2 years ago. I think it was the best thing we did, and we spent nearly every summer, you know, learning about boating and enjoying the water. I love being on the water. That's really my first love. Well, second love. My wife's my first love. I'd like to sail around the world. I really would like to do that, and I'd like to get into some kind of chartering business with sailboats. We're planning at the moment to try to add to our Dali collection. At the moment we've got one called the Village de Paranoia. In San Jose and Las Vegas we work with underprivileged kids, kids who've been to juvenile court and stuff, and you know, we put on a camp from a free camp and you know, a day out, a picnic.
Family has another famous member, his brother Graham.
Graham, my brother, just signed a recording contract with EMI. He plays bass guitar, and they were recently in Manhattan recording some stuff.
How do you compare yourself, Godfrey, to your brother as a musician?
I was a lot better. I was really talented at guitar, and Graham came along. I had a bass guitar, and one Christmas I couldn't make my mind up what to buy my brother, and I was getting sick of this bass guitar, so I wrapped it up in some cheap paper, and I put a card on, and I said, "That's your Christmas present."
Ingram's feelings when he gets on the floor are unique.
Whenever I go out on the field, I always make a point of looking up into the stands, and whether there's five people in the stands or if there's 50,000 people in the stands, I try and pick out a couple of individuals, and I say to myself, well, you know, these people have paid good money, and I really want to entertain them. I see soccer as being an entertainment sport. We have to go out and entertain, and my style is geared to that. I like to overdo it a little bit. You know, outdoor is still really my favourite, but I realise now that my career is going to be completely indoor, and I'm quite happy with that.
Get through the third quarter and see if they can do just that, John.
Keep in mind it's still 4-on-4 because we still have Thompson Usean serving a penalty for Tino Lettieri, and also Val Tuksha in the penalty box, both for unsportsmanlike conduct. The other situation in that first half was a warning against Don Popovic of the Pittsburgh Spirit by the officials. So that's where we stand. The Spirit will kick it off to start the third quarter of play. 15 minutes in each quarter. 3-1 is our score. Minnesota out in front. And we are delighted to have you with us tonight from the cold north. Down to 0 tonight, but even colder tomorrow. Koepka quickly in front. The man working the box is Chris Dangerfield for Minnesota, and they've got another 30 seconds, a chance for another good rush coming up. 9:38 left in the third quarter. Drive deflected in. The goal will go to Chris Dangerfield. He gets his second of the night. And that was the combination. Cummins and Dangerfield, they team up for another power play goal.
And what a shame, John, because the Spirit had done a great job. They blocked a lot of shots. 21 seconds were left on that power play, and they blocked everything that was serious from going through. But let's watch what happens here as David Byrne quarterbacks it right between the legs there of Godfrey Ingram. He had to be tired. He had a hard shift, he and Charlie Green. Here's Cummins. He's going to send it into the box. I'm not so sure if Dangerfield got that or a Spirit player, but we'll wait and see. I believe Dangerfield is going to get credit for it. Another look may prove to be the difference in terms of who gets it. Watch Dangerfield, the positioning with O'Hara. Nope, Dangerfield got it off the right foot. Great deflection.
So Dangerfield gets his second goal of the night, and it's a 3-goal lead. They convert on the power play again. 7 out of 12 this year. Battle in the corner, one by how their zone defense on the penalty killing goes side to side, and they do a great job of maintaining their position on the field. O'Hara. Ingram. Sibbies. Spirit looking for the opening, the crack. Dudek with a drive in front. Child scores.
And we have do we have a winner in the Giant Eagle Go-Getter contest? I'm more excited about that. That's why Paul Child's happy. It took, what, 2 years? But we've got one. Now that we're saying that, we can't find the name of the winner. Mark Sarver, you're a winner, partner. $300 in Giant Eagle groceries, but that's a big Spirit goal. And Child, as he does best, on the doorstep. But watch where they pass it around. Ingram, Helmut Dudek. He's passing, it looks like, from here.
The needle, didn't
he? Looks like he's passing. It could have been a shot, but it looked like from here that he was passing. Godfrey Ingram holding it, cuts it to the left. You were hearing John Sanders' remarks about the way Minnesota was playing. I like their pursuit of the ball, and they were playing it very tough, not giving the Spirit any penetrating passes until that one.
Well, the power play goals are even at 1 apiece, and we go back to that 2-goal difference. It is 4-2. Minnesota, but a big goal for the Spirit because John Paul, they took advantage of the opportunity they had against the best penalty killing unit in the still a 2-goal difference. It was 3-1 at halftime. It's now 4-2. A break for Dumbovic against Topolsky. Drago takes it down the left side, shoots and scores. Drago Dumbovic with his 14th goal of the season.
Minnesota leads 5-2. Topolsky never really got set up with his feet. When we look at it later, you'll notice that Adam got caught backpedaling a little bit flat-footed. Let's see if we'll pick it up from that point. Here's Low to Vegas. We may not get it. See him backpedaling. He never really got set, so Drago had the advantage on the attack. Ends the shot. Looked like it went between the legs of Bursic. I couldn't tell from there whether it was the short side, John, or between his legs. Maybe we'll be better able to tell on this. See Adam getting caught with his feet there. This will be an angle. That's between the legs.
Second time tonight.
Yeah.
Between the legs of David Bursic. So it's back to the 3-goal edge, and that's trouble for the Pittsburgh Spirit. Fogarty. Here's Sibbies now with Green in the box area, but it's intercepted off the boards, just off the leg of Klincharski, who was wide open. Nicky can't get it back. There's Lettieri. There's Klincharski. He scores. So the Spirit again cut it to 5-3. Klincharski stayed with it. He stayed in the box area, and he got the goal. So now, with 3:24 left, it's 5-3 strikers on Pittsburgh Spirit. Once again, they're still down by 2. And it's a 3-on-1, or 3-on-2. Knocked into the net by Tuksha. It'll be a goal for Minnesota.
Frustration there on the part of David Bursic. Pittsburgh was going the other way on an attack. Val Tuksha leading over the midfield line. The ball a little bit too far in front of him, and then the Spirit got caught. It was a 3-on-2, then it ended up 2-on-1. Let's look at the end. Here's David Byrne. He's going to get another assist, it looks like. That went off Tuksha's foot and into the goal. Val did a nice job of just getting back because he was caught way upfield, but that's where Pittsburgh got caught on the counterattack. Here's Byrne the other way. A good running team, the Strikers, and Byrne placed it in deep. He was looking for the man at the far post. Couldn't hit him, but it went off Tuksha's foot. Their records defensively, and I really did not expect a high-scoring game. You've got the 3rd best keeper in the league the 5th best keeper in the league. Both of them are on win streaks. Both have gotten their goals against average down. Both teams' defenses have played much better of late, coming off big wins, but all of a sudden it's now 9 goals, 6 for Minnesota and 3 for Pittsburgh, and the game has started to open up quite a bit in this 3rd quarter, especially in the latter stages.
McKenzie outruns Dangerfield to pick it off, but the referee keeps it in play. Now McKenzie goes back to David Bursic, a little bit of an advantage if he can get the ball out. Breaking is Klincharski. He's got Ingram and Child ahead of him. Fogarty takes it back for Minnesota. Off the board to Byrne. Byrne with 2 assists and a goal. Remember, we'll be naming our Stroh's offensive and defensive players of the game when this is all over. And certainly, Byrne has been a big factor here tonight. Cummins turning. Dangerfield off the board. It'll be headed away by Klincharski to Ingram. Back comes Godfrey Ingram. Had a man open on the right side. That was Child. Could not get the pass through to him. It's picked off now by John Bain. 13 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. It's been a wild 3rd quarter. 3 goals for Minnesota, 2 for Pittsburgh. That one misses. Looking for a couple of players coming in from the right side. Didn't happen. Ingram takes a quick look as the horn sounds, and that's it. Minnesota outscores the Spirit 3-2 here in the 3rd quarter. They lead by 3 as we get set for the final. Fortunately, David Bursic got a piece of it.
McKenzie the other way, cuts to the middle on Dangerfield, plays it for Hagen.
This is where Hagen excels. He controls the ball.
To McKenzie, who scores. How did you know that was going to happen? And it's 6-4, so the Spirit are right back in it. Dave McKenzie on the feed from Hagen. I don't believe Lettieri expected Mac to shoot from that far out and may have been caught off balance with that. A very good low shot placed by Dave McKenzie. We'll see it again.
Hagen's 2nd point of the night, his 1st assist of the year, and you can see a beautiful feed, and McKenzie had some room, and he was able to pick the left side and drive it home. David McKenzie picks up his 2nd goal of the year. I talked about and as soon as Cummins comes up, that opens the door. Dangerfield couldn't get his foot on it, and McKenzie gets the goal. So once again, the Spirit back in it, JP.
6-4. This looks almost like the way Minnesota was doing it. They're reversing it. Remember, before, Pittsburgh was putting on pressure, couldn't score, then Minnesota scores. Now it's been all Minnesota, really, this 4th quarter. Most of my play calling has been in the Spirit zone with Minnesota attacking, but Minnesota doesn't score, and Pittsburgh comes with it. This year they can spread it around a little bit. On the right side, John Bain. Against Kapka. 6-4, Spirit down by a couple. They try to give and go, and there's a beautiful play. Alan Willie will score. Just all kinds of mental mistakes tonight, though, for the Pittsburgh Spirit. Maybe it's not in the cards for them tonight, but they're getting trapped on plays like that. David Bursic is upset. I'm not so sure if he's upset at himself or so much as he was left to die back there on that one.
Alan Willie will pick up his 9th of the year. This is John Bain with it. There's a one-touch pass that came in front. It came from Jan Goossens, I believe, right?
Let's see. Looks like him on the 2nd look. Yeah, Goossens. John, that goal was a minute 4 after McKenzie had scored, so it's like the Spirit have been unable to get any kind of momentum going.
Well, you talked about it as we got ready to start the 4th quarter, and that's exactly what's happened. Every time it looks like the Spirit are going to get back in the game, they come right back. For example, they're trading goals.
There's not a big crowd here, but they're trying a wave. This might be a record for the fewest people doing a wave.
4,257 tonight, a chilly weekday night, the game on local TV here in Minnesota.
Would you have come out if the temperature was 0 and it was on local TV? I don't think so.
The way it's going, I may wish I hadn't come out anyway.
They may not let us come out the next time. It is a 7-4 Minnesota lead, but like I said before, I think televising this game may have some added benefit for Minnesota. People sitting at home in a warm living room are seeing a very good Minnesota team. Here's Child in for Klincharski, and it hopped off his left foot and out of play. Nicky was off balance and never, because there are a lot of mental mistakes. Played over on the right side to Dave McKenzie. Cutting to the middle. Mack plays it in, broken up. Spirit have not quit tonight, which is good from their standpoint because they were down by 3 goals a few times to this very fine Minnesota team as the ball is headed out of play. There'll be a kick in coming up for the Spirit.
And unfortunately, JP, with 2:01 to go, they're still down by 3.
It's been an uphill battle for the Pittsburgh Spirit. Here is the situation for Pittsburgh. They've lost, what, 14 straight on television now. That's no secret, but I think the big thing is the road losing streak. They don't associate it as much with TV as they do with the road and the fact that they haven't won.
Be 0-4 on the road this year and 9 in a row.
Yeah.
The Strikers very tough at home. This will be 17 consecutive home victories for Minnesota.
Ingram to McKenzie, off a deflection, and there's Paul Child, and we have another Giant Eagle goal-getter winner, don't we? Matthew Sen picked Paul Child. That's $100 in groceries. And the Spirit are within 2 at 7-5.
So Paul Child gets his second of the night, his 9th of the year. McKenzie is going to get the assist. Let's watch it as the feed comes from Ingram to McKenzie. Drive it in front, and there's Paul Child. Just tapped it in. That's what Child does best.
Alan Merrick will not be happy with that. Minnesota fell asleep as Pittsburgh put it in. Big save for Lettieri. Would have looked good there, John, if that one had gotten by, because that would have narrowed it to 1 with 1:20 to go. We've got a foul and a penalty. And look out, because it's going to make things interesting. Now, you've got a man advantage here. David Bursich coming over to talk things over with Don Popovic. I don't think Pop is going to pull him for another player. I talked to Don Popovic about that early in the season because he was new. I asked him what his strategy was in that. And he said, frankly, he didn't use a 6th attacker much. He really didn't have a chance to do it much. With New York, he was winning a lot, so he was
never
not behind. Yeah, and when he was behind, he had Jungle out there and a lot of game-winning types of players. So he didn't have a need to do that.
The fellow that's in the box has a chance to be our offensive player of the game. It's David Byrne, but he may have committed a big penalty here. You know, I've seen more penalties in this game than I've seen in any so far this season.
There's been quite a few.
We've had a total of 3 on each side.
That's the most this year, then, without question. So let's see what happens. They will leave Bursich in goal. Pittsburgh going with a regular power play, which is second in the league. Civies cuts it to Godfrey. The shot, he scores! Godfrey Ingram and the Spirit are within 1.
And Ingram's streak continues as he picks up his 6th goal of the year. The Spirit back in it.
That's a power play goal, and they are within 1. This is the first time tonight that they have scored, John Sanders, back-to-back goals.
And they cut it to 1. Here it is. Look at the feed. And the drive by Ingram went through Lettieri's legs. So both goalkeepers have had their problems tonight.
Here's Godfrey blasting it through.
And this crowd getting a little nervous here.
Can you blame them? What a game to televise for both places. 1:04 to go. Stan Cummins was battling for it along the near side, getting some help from David Byrne, who had to be frustrated. He could be a goat here, and he was at one point a hero. Dudek off the board for Civies. 50 seconds to go. On the left side for Child. Paul Child into the attack zone. Great comeback regardless for the Spirit. Off a deflection, McKenzie will get it. Left side, Helmut Dudek takes the no fouls. I thought I heard a whistle, but it must have come from the stands.
Still a chance, JP. 30 seconds.
That looked good. Dudek to McKenzie. For Civies. Cleared but not out. Dudek fakes. Cutting it low. For Ingram, 22 seconds left. Godfrey in the corner, around the boards. Lettieri looking for it. It's still loose. Kicked out. Who got it last? Oh, big play right there because it's going to be a corner kick for the Pittsburgh Spirit. It was last touched by Minnesota. 16 seconds are left, and Pittsburgh wanting a timeout, screaming for that call, and they're going to get it. And what a discussion that would be. I wish we had a microphone to go downstairs.
Well, I think at this point David Bursich will come off, and John O'Hara will probably come on. Don Popovic is going to talk to his troops. What a rally.
Leadership, his ability to control the ball and trap a ball. If Minnesota clears it, he's pretty much able, if it's within his reach, to keep it inside that line and keep the penetration going. Godfrey Ingram, who's done well, especially lately in these plays. He's been picking up some assists off corner kicks. Will put it in play. From the near corner. Pittsburgh within 1, 7-6. 16 seconds left, but it's deflected, and Minnesota will clear it. Etherington down the length of the field. 12 seconds are left, 11 seconds. McKenzie has a long way to go at 8 seconds, and he can't put it over 3 lines in the air. For Dudek, 5 seconds. It's blocked. A comeback, which is gallant by Pittsburgh, will fall 1 short at the very end as the Spirit will lose 7-6 to Minnesota. But what a great game this turned out to be. A strange game, to say the very least, John, but a great game between 2 of the very finest teams right now in the Major Indoor Soccer League. And it really points out one thing I think very important about the Indoor Soccer League. A game is really not over, as Yogi Berra says, until it's over, because Pittsburgh fought a team that looked very composed but lost their composure in the end.
7-6, the Strikers on Pittsburgh Spirit Soccer.